Okay.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to all of you for the Canada Day meeting today, June 15th, at time 7:33. I call this meeting to order. We're going to start with land acknowledgement first. We would like to begin by respectfully acknowledging that the town of Shelburne resides within the traditional territory and ancestral lands of Anishinaabe, including Ojibwe, Potawatomi, and Chippewa, and the people of the Three Fires Confederation. These traditional territories upon which we live, work, play, and learn are steeped in rich indigenous history and traditions. It is with this statement that we declare to honor and respect the past and present connection of Indigenous people with this land and its waterways and resources. We encourage residents to review the call to action information by visiting the following website to further research and educate oneself. And that is www.dccrc.ca/educational -links / today's meeting, we received a regret from Crystal. Sorry, I blanked out myself there. We received regret from Crystal and Cyril. So the rest of the team, we are missing Jaya, but the rest of the team is here to proceed with this meeting. Addition to the agenda, is there any amendment to the agenda? Do you want to say it on a note? Alice?
I do have one item to add to the agenda, and that is a request from a vendor in regards to an activity that she would like to, she has a letter that she would like me to read to the committee. Unfortunately, I received it after the agenda came out, but yeah, I would like to add that to the agenda under new business.
What item number do you want to mark it under? Is there any?
So it would be item 5.4.
5.4, okay, all right. Do I need any motion for adopting that to the agenda item? Unless it can help me form that.
You would just need the committee to agree to it, and then when you do the motion for the agenda, it would be as amended.
As amended, perfect, okay, all right. So what are your thoughts, feeling, adding that to agenda? Thumbs up from Kyle. Everybody else, rest of the team, fantastic. Brian, I don't see you there. Yes, fantastic, thank you. So as Alice mentioned, amendment to agenda 5.4 regarding a vendor request to consider for the event. And with that said, I would like to make a motion be resolved that the minute from the Canada Day Committee meeting. Oh. Also, just wanted to quickly go over through the meeting minutes from the meeting May 25th. Everybody had a chance to review it. It was attached with the agenda. Does anybody had any? Yeah, let's go ahead.
Sorry, can we just get a formal motion to adopt the agenda as amended before jumping into the minutes, please?
Perfect. Okay, yes, definitely. I got confused in between these two items, but yes, go ahead. So I'd like to make someone a motion to adopt the agenda as amended. And that's Kyle and Brian, seconded by all in favor. We all do. Motion carried. I'd like to make another motion to be resolved that the minute from Canada Day Committee meeting held on Tuesday, May the 25th, 2023, be adopted as presented. I hope everyone had a chance to review it, go over through it. If I May, can I have someone to make a motion for that? Len, Brian, and all in favor? No. You can abstain, I guess, but okay. Amy, you said earlier you had mentioned about even timing and things like that. We go first, I guess. Is that what you wanted me to start with it, or we continue with our agenda for item event preparation? Yeah.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay. So,
yeah.
Event preparation, sponsorship update, sponsorship form, brief update on sponsors from all member master lists for the sponsors progress update. If we can hear from our wonderful Kyle, sir. Yes, go ahead. Floor is yours. I thank you very much. I didn't send in an email, but definitely thank you for your hard work on that and presenting it to all of us. Go ahead. Floor is yours, sir.
Okay, not really much to update. It's just a matter that I did send a link to everybody in the email list that we have created a master list for sponsorship. A very simple spreadsheet. Anybody who contacts anybody, obviously fill in the list, who you are, who you contacted, when you contacted, and what kind of response you received. And if anybody hasn't received that email or the link to that email, let me know.
Perfect. I'm sure most of us have received it. Did we all? Yes. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for the update. Really appreciate that. Any new celebration you can have it regarding sponsors? Anything? I know our MVP is not here today, but Crystal did phenomenal work around that area, and she did got some sponsors. So is there anyone would like to share their slide? Floor is open. Anything from your side?
Sorry, did you say me?
Yes.
So yeah, I don't have an update for sponsorship. I was away last week, so I haven't gotten a chance to go downtown like I had wanted to. Work has just been crazy trying to get caught up since I was off last week. But I'm hoping to go downtown within the next couple of days. I am hoping to kind of hear if any other committee members have talked to any of the businesses downtown, because I want to make sure I'm not bugging people multiple times.
Yeah, thank you. Brian, you have anything to add to it? Or we can't hear you, Brad. So Brian, work on that the technical piece. Can hear from Len.
I have nothing to report in that regard at this time. I will make some time, Amy, if you want to kind of partner with me. I don't know, what days were you thinking of going downtown?
I'm good anytime next week.
Okay, I'll see what my schedule is. My drive schedule is kind of busy this next week, but I could probably, let me see. Wednesday, Thursday. Let's talk about those days if that works for you. I don't know what.
Okay.
Yeah, I think yes, you can definitely take that offline and take care of that business between so that we can connect and reach out to the community. Alice, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I'm just going to share something real quick for you. If you can just let me know when you can see that.
Yes, we do.
Okay. So this is just the update from what the town has received So we have the in-kind donation to Keller Williams. Then we have the donation of the platinum sponsor from All Pro Roofing. And then we have 2 bronze sponsors. We have one from RLB and one from Shepherd Memorials.
Thank you, Alice, for that update. Really appreciate that. Thank you. Brian, are you okay to go next? He is typing, looks like it maybe. Can we hear? Yeah. Ooh, that's a trouble, definitely. Mic is not working for Brian.
Okay, we had that problem with the last meeting briefly. It might mean, Brian, that you need to log out, leave the meeting, and then come back in. Because I know we had that issue with a couple of people last time.
And last but not least, our wonderful Kyle, sir. Any update from your side?
Sorry, what was that?
Any update from your side regarding sponsorship?
Unfortunately, I've been completely tied up. I haven't had a chance to get any sponsorship yet.
I did, as I said, reach out again another round back to see RBC. I have a meeting scheduled tomorrow to meet Guy in Orangeville. It's an Indian restaurant, which I had a brief discussion with him, but just wanted to meet in person and bring those forms along with me that was asked. So I'm just going to go see him regarding that, possibly maybe a food truck or something like that from there. Did reach out to a couple of the business back again here in local complex that we have it here. Things are from that point, they are saying we are ready, but I'm surprised not to see anyone reached out to the town yet. So I am going to circle back again tomorrow. I'm working half a day, so I'll definitely spend other half of my day reaching out to those business back again and hopefully get them right up on board same time. So having said that, are we, I'm sure everyone had a chance to review 4.2 event outline. Any question, comment around that area? Yes, sir, go ahead.
Well, because I wasn't at the last meeting, I was using this as the schedule to talk to Sylvia Jones as well as fire department and OPP. So hopefully this gets adopted.
That's a good point. Alice, is there any possibility of we kind of making this as this schedule as our schedule for July 1st? How do we adopt this? Any thoughts on that?
So absolutely, we can just say that is the schedule of the events. My understanding of the previous conversations that with the car show from 4 to 6, we were going to allow the cars to start coming in at 3 for the car show. That was my understanding. So that's what the information that I gave to to Brennan for the car show. And I know we've had Country 105 reach out as far as advertising, and I indicated that we just needed to confirm the times. Unless Brian comes back, we don't actually have quorum to vote on it, but if we can't vote, we're just going to go and say that this is what the times are. But it looks like Brian's popping back on, so hopefully we can.
He's on. I think he's joining from his iPhone.
Yeah, so if we can just do a quick vote that the timing as presented in the agenda be confirmed or something along that line. a quick motion for that, and that would be fantastic.
Fantastic, fantastic. Len, I think you were about
Yeah.
to raise your hand. Yeah.
Just a quick, the 7 to 9. I assume that's a vague time slot, because if we have to stretch the acts a little bit to get us closer to dusk. But that's, I mean, we can play with that a little bit. I mean, as far as being cast in stone, starting at 7 is good, but yeah. Kyle, jump in.
Yes.
Just because I know for a fact every time we do this Canada Day, we try to plan things to end at right how the fireworks go. I saw your email, Len. So we've got the Matlocks coming in for. I assume they're our headliner.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, so are they okay to go from 9 until 10?
I have to have that conversation with them. They're going to provide me with a set list. They do a lot of covers.
Yep.
The
only
so
thing
I mean, we can even push Sandy, so she starts at 7:15, goes until 8, and then it's going to be 20 minutes to get the Matlocks sorted out. Then
what I would say, because it's going by history, where you want to have at least 15 minutes on transition between sets, between acts, but realistically you want to have the headliner try to end 10:15, possibly 10:30, because it doesn't really get dark Canada Day until about then.
okay, we'll have to play with those numbers and I mean, I'll just talk. I mean, I'll have a conversation with both the acts, and they said they can do more than an hour set or 2:45s, but
That might actually be better. Actually, if we can pull that off, that would be good.
yeah, or a 45 and a 30, whatever.
Sure. Realistically, because every time we've tried to plan this so that the fireworks go off at 10, it's never dark enough. We need to really plan to make sure that we go a little bit later than 10.
Okay.
I mean, it may happen that 10 o'clock is dark enough, but
I can also fill with some music afterwards for 15 minutes if need be. So it's no big deal.
Okay.
Okay.
That sounds good. That's wonderful
All right.
talk, definitely.
So as long as we can get a little flexibility on that 7 to 9 for the acts, will be cool.
Okay, I'll mark it down as 7 to 10. And then you have the flexibility in there, but at least for advertising purposes, it looks like there's something consistent all the way through.
That's right. That's right. It's wonderful. Wonderful. So before I jump right back to the timing again, just wanted to hear back from Brian. Is your mic working now?
I had to switch to my phone, so hopefully it's working.
Perfect, perfect. We can hear you. Fantastic. Just wanted to quickly gather some of important piece of information around the sponsorship from your end. If you have anything to share with the team here.
I do have more. I have one more coming in for sure. What I've noticed is, I guess the fair board's been out really hard pushing for sponsorships, and most people have already given the money to them, and they're not willing to give it to both. And the list that Kyle gave me, I don't know how to open up a Google Drive, so I gotta get my sister to do it for me.
Right, all right. Thanks,
That's all I
Brian.
got.
Thanks, Brian, for the update. So what team is discussing currently is the event timing. We would like to finalize those timing. We wanted to make a motion to adopt those timing as presented with an amendment around about car show being starting. We see this, the car show timing will be 4 to 6, but car will be coming into the park by 3 o'clock, and then musical band and stage performance will be from 7 until 10. So having said that, Jamie, yes, before I move on anything, go ahead.
Jamie, you're muted.
That's better. Sorry. I just wanted to touch base about the fireworks timing. I know last year we were pretty on schedule for the 10 o'clock mark, but I know that it was kind of promoted as dark or near 10 o'clock. So I remember kind of seeing comments on some of the Facebook groups that they've either missed the fireworks, they didn't know what time it was at, they were showing up later. I don't know if Brian experienced a lot of that. I just remember seeing kind of that feedback come through of if there's not really a set time, or some, you know, Facebook, sometimes people are giving all sorts of different links and times, that maybe something should be set like 10:15 and that's the show. Or if it's 10 o'clock, which I'm pretty sure we were pretty close last year, 10 o'clock is what we're promoting the show as, and saying, hey, show up for 9:45 if you want to see the fireworks at 10. Just something around those lines, so folks aren't missing out whatever they interpret dark as, or if they're thinking they can show up at 10 and see the show. If it's only a 10-minute show and they're showing up at 10:05 or 10:10, then the show will be over, right? So that's just my comment there to kind of make a firm time.
Very valuable point. Absolutely. So team, what do you feel about fireworks time frame? Yes, sir. Kyles.
Jamie and Alice, maybe you can answer this. How are we looking as far as the fire ban in Dufferin County?
So we can't say for certain what the fire department or what the county is going to do. Jamie and I have discussed it. If there is a fire ban, we will not be able to do fireworks. And that is in the contract with the fireworks provider. But we also are fairly confident that that will not be an issue.
That's fair enough. It's just I wanted to make sure that I mentioned it because it is in effect right now. We have to.
At this point, it is not a concern for Jamie or I.
Works for me.
Sounds good. Yes, Len.
Just really quick, do we have a rain? Don't want to say this, the R word, but do we have a rain plan?
The event is rain or shine.
Okay, fine.
So Samir, can I just clarify with the committee? Food market, what is listed here is 3 till close. What do we mean by close? Do we want to stop the food at 9:30 so that people are done being lined up by 10, right? Because I don't want to, close is ambiguous, because if people are still in the park at midnight, they're going to say, well, it's not closed.
Yes.
So I think it would probably be a good idea to have a specific time there. And then I would wondering if we could combine DJ and musical band into one, just musical entertainment featuring, and then name the ones that we're featuring and put that, you know. So I don't think we need to list on the schedule of events if there's going to be music playing from 4 till 7. That can just be there. But that's the committee's choice. There's a lot on here to advertise, and I think you can cover it with less, and sometimes less information could be more.
Very valuable. Agreed.
And then, yeah, and with the food and vendor market, just again, at this point, we don't have any food. So I still think we should hope, we just need to be cautious. We're advertising food, and as of tonight, we don't have any food.
It's definitely a concern. Brian, I remember during the past couple of meetings, we were talking about the food and vendor market and so on. I believe you mentioned about people were still lining up late night and so on. So just wanted to gather your thoughts around the close timing on that before we open it for discussing about timings.
So last year, I think it was 12:30 when the last person got food. So yeah, so it would be nice to set it off earlier, but the other instance too, you don't want to take money away from the vendor either. Maybe you do it at set off for last call for food is like 9:45, and hopefully by the time the fireworks are done, they've got all their food out that needs to be out. So if the band or whoever emceeing can do like a last call for food trucks or something like that. But if we don't have any food vendors, maybe we shouldn't be advertising that either, so.
Yes, Kyle.
Just because we don't have any food vendors right now, I would suggest we stop advertise or don't advertise it as food vendor. We just advertise it as a vendor market, period. If we get food vendors, great. If we don't, it's saving our butts. And if we do have food vendors, realistically, we need to have the last call, I would suggest, by 9:30. Has to be. Otherwise, it's going to take forever to get people fed.
And good. Yes, Amy.
I agree with Kyle. We could also, like, if we do get a food vendor, we can just start doing Facebook posts about that specific food vendor that signed up, so then people still know there is going to be.
Definitely. Sorry, all online. Sorry, Len, you were about to say something.
No, just agreeing. I'm just going to throw out another little helpful to the if we can get some sort of a day event agenda, who to thank, who to mention, all of that kind of stuff. That would be a help. So I don't know if that's, I mean, I can help sort that out. And it won't be cast in stone, but just something that says, okay, here's our vendors. Let's thank them every hour. Here's our, car shows here, play zones here. Remind everybody that, fireworks are at 10, that kind of thing.
Hal, you have something to add on?
Yeah, it's real simple as far as the Google Drive. I mean, we can certainly add another sheet to that same spreadsheet that we can have who we need to thank. So when we get vendors in, add the vendors to thank. So I can certainly set up a secondary sheet on that same sheet that we can all flip to on who to thank.
Sounds good. Amy?
And day of write-ins is, I don't mind day of write-ins, that kind of stuff. So as long as we have some sort of a structure.
Makes sense. Amy, you were about to add something, or?
Yeah, I was just gonna say we could have it in the same Excel and just add a column to show which ones actually sign up. That way, it's all in one spot.
All good points, definitely. Not missing anyone here. Fantastic. So, going back to the evening timeline. So, are we all in agreement for the public swimming? Definitely, that's not our area, but we are definitely going to say 1 to 3 for the public swimming. That is going to be there. In Kellerville Fun Zone, we talked about 3 to 8. He'd also agree with that. As Alice mentioned, we'll combine live DJ with the music. So one kind of time slot for the music starting from 4 until what I'm hearing from most of the folks is around about 9:45 to 10. 10, right on. Okay, so 10. Carso 4 to 6. Opening ceremony, as Kyle reached out to the host of the opening ceremony. It's 6 to 7. That is definitely firm there. And then, thank you. And then we have fireworks that Jamie mentioned, and it's a very valid point, very valuable. That if I just want to come for fireworks only, what time should I show up at the place, right? So are we in agreement of time for the fireworks? Be at 10:15, or has anyone has any suggestion? Last call, I would say. Yes, sir. Kyle.
Well, if we're going to advertise it, I would advertise it as, if you want to see the fireworks, be there for 9:45. Realistically, we have no idea how the time is going to go. We have no idea when it's going to be dark. If we plan for the Matlocks, if they're our headliner, to play until 10, we're going to have them play until 10, and the fireworks typically go after that. So honestly, realistically, as far as the timing goes, as far as when it gets dark, 10 o'clock is a good guesstimation. It's been 10, 10:15. Sometimes it's even been 10:30.
Want to hear from Brian, and then we'll just quickly gather just one final thought as a group, basically. 9:59, I like that. Go ahead, Brian.
So last year, the fireworks actually went off right at 10:01. And it was dark enough then, but again, who knows what the moon's going to do and all that stuff. So I would think if we can, just like what Kyle said there, like if you want to see the fireworks, be present by 9:45. Fireworks will happen as soon as it's dark enough to see them, or something like that. We put on the kind of the flyer that we're going to hand out.
Alice, thanks for that amendment to the time sheet. So that is the revised time, and if we are all in agreement of that, are we? How are you feeling, all folks? How are you feeling about the time, new time that you just saw it on the screen? Are we in a line with that? If I can have a show of hand on that, and that's good. So can we make a motion to adopt the time for the event as presented? I have someone to make a motion. Kyle, seconded by Brian. All in favor? Fine. Motion carried for that. Fantastic. So that is taken care. Opening ceremony, we did receive a progress update. Is there anything else to add, Kyle and Len, from your end? What have we got an opening ceremony?
Go ahead, Kyle. Do you want to start, or do you want me to start?
Sure. I've got actually a lot to unload, so.
So do I. Okay, there's lots of emotional baggage. We could be here all night.
Okay, so I've talked with the OPP, I've talked with the fire department. Both of them are taking it back to their the auxiliary and to his not chiefs, his management, whatever. They're going to get back to me. I've spoken with Gord Horsley, who is the basically he's the what is the term? Chaplain. Thank you. Chaplain for the Legion. He is essentially the head minister, I guess, for all of the churches in the area. He has asked, because of current time and current nature of society, he has asked if he's still allowed to bless the flag. I told him that I would bring it to the committee and ask, can we still do this? So I'd like to hear from the committee before I go back to him and say, yes, absolutely bless the flag.
I have no problem with that.
Brian and Amy, any thoughts on that? Brian, go ahead.
I think it's fine.
Amy? I'm okay with that as well.
Okay, excellent. So I'll go back to him and I'll let him know that that's good to go. He's also talked to the Legion. He's also talked to the Air Cadets, and they are already prepared. They will be there to help us raise the flag. So we've got Gord Horsley, who's going to bless the flag. We've got the Air Cadets, who's going to raise the flag. Sylvia Jones has confirmed she's going to be there for 6 o'clock. I have not heard back from Kyle Seaback, Alice, and Jamie. I don't know if you guys have reached out to him at all. Could we get you guys maybe to reach out to him? I don't really have a direct connection for that.
I'll make a note and see what we can do. Yes.
Okay, much appreciated. Yeah, so we've got the minister, we've got the air cadets, we have OPP is getting back to me, fire department is getting back to me. Jamie or Alice, do either of you have any connection to the ambulance that you could send me that I can reach out? That's one I don't have.
I can get you a contact.
I would appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Probably my cousin.
Oh, even better. Can you reach out?
She's the receptionist there, but the
If-
ambulance or Tom, either or, whatever.
If you've got a connection, Len, do you mind reaching out?
I can, just a matter of, who did you have in mind, Jamie? You were thinking of Tom?
Yep.
Okay.
mhm.
Well, I can ask my cousin to talk to Tom. I ran into Tom yesterday, actually. Had I known, I could have asked him face to face. All right, I will reach out to Tom tomorrow and see if they have any ability to attend the 6 p.m. ceremony.
Actually, Len, reach out to them and let them know that we're looking for some kind of a, if they're able to, have them have an ambulance there that the kids can go in and see what they're doing. Like have somebody there.
Yeah.
What I've talked to the OPP and for the fire is trying to coincide with the car show. So if they can be there timing wise the same as the car show would be great.
Should we not have an ambulance there either way on standby? No, I'm just saying.
Potentially. Yeah, you're not wrong.
So, all right, I'll speak to Tom tomorrow and see if I can see what kind of strings I can pull there. So quick question in regard to the ceremony. It says main stage, Fiddle Park. Are we doing this from the main stage? Are we doing this from the flagpole?
No, this has to be done from the flagpole because we have to raise the flag. So I would suggest that we still have to have a remote speaker, either like a powered speaker that we can have a microphone connected to.
Okay, got it. No problem.
Fantastic, great. It's wonderful to have both of you experience and resourceful guy in the team. So definitely, that is definitely benefited. Brian, you have something to add on?
Do we have a contact for the cadets at all? Does anyone have a contact?
Well, I can certainly ask her. What would you like for the cadets?
Do they still have their food truck?
They've never had a food truck as far as I've known. They've usually run the kitchen.
Okay, there used to be a food truck either from the Cadets or the Lions, but I thought it was Cadets. Oh, it's the Lions? Okay.
Yeah, it was the Lions, and they no longer have that truck.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess is the ask then to see if the Cadets want to run a food booth.
I can ask and we can find out.
Okay.
We do need to have food there as far as I'm concerned. Like if you get people there from 3 o'clock to 10 o'clock, I think by law, we actually have to even provide it. So
I can certainly make the ask and then I will report back.
Fantastic, good stuff. So regarding opening ceremony, Len, anything you want to share with this committee? I know we talked about the sound system requirement. Anything that you want to add that Kyle didn't cover? That is
just Kyle and I need to get together and pick a day to go out a few days before and do a little site inspection. The town through Jamie has offered to let us borrow some mic stands, and there's a box of microphones that we can use. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else. Everything else should be good.
The only thing, Len, that I'm thinking is if you've got a powered speaker that we can borrow. I know that we got speaker stands, but I don't believe the town has powered speakers.
Yeah, I have one of the stage all the monitors are powered, so I can just drag one out. Yeah, so I think we'll be good.
I do
Right.
We'll
believe,
have them.
yeah, I believe Alice has had her hand up for a little while as well.
Yes. Alice and Brian, Alice and then Brian.
I just have a quick clarification question in regards to contacting Kyle Seebeck. Who is going to be the contact person that he is going to meet up with? Should he say yes on the day of the event, since Jamie and I won't be there, we can't be the contact people.
Yeah, I'll be more than happy to be the contact for sure.
Thank you. I just needed to make sure I had a contact information for him. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you, Kyle. Brian, over to you.
One of the complaints we had last year was there was no lighting inside the barn. Do you have a light stand or anything, Len, you could use to light up like where the dance floor is?
I do not. Do we not have lighting in that barn?
If there was, it wasn't on. So.
It wasn't turned on. Okay, we have nothing. Kyle,
No,
is that what?
it's completely dark. Typically when I was running Canada Day, I had Arthur bring his lights and everything else, which lit everything up, but we don't have him this year.
Do we have any floodlights that we could all borrow?
Let me see what I can.
Len, you and I need to sit and talk and see what you've got,
Yeah.
what I've got, and let's see what we can put together.
Yeah, okay, we'll figure something out.
Sounds good. Thank you, Brian, for bringing that up. So if there's nothing there, we can move on to 4.4, which is a vendor market. I think we briefly, all of us basically touched on it. It's more related to the food. At this moment, as Alice mentioned, there is no food truck or no interest of any of the food vendor to the event yet. But we silently going to work on that and make sure town residents get food on a day of the event. Anything else? Anyone else wanted to share anything about the food truck, any food zone, anything they wanted to share? Floor is open. You can raise your hand and we can. Yes, Brian, go ahead.
Wasn't the last meeting, didn't someone say Blissful Treats had sent in application?
No, they wanted an application and I did drop it off at Blissful Treats, but I haven't received anything back from them. So if somebody wanted to follow up with them, that would be great. I did drop the forms off and then I was away, so I didn't have a chance to follow up, but I did drop off. But that's
I can
only
reach
one.
back to him. I can reach back to him as well, because I did drop off the form as well, as Crystal brought it up to the meeting last time, and I happened to visit Galvin the same like the next day, so I did drop off the forms and everything to him as well. But since then I was away. Yes, Amy.
Has anyone reached out to the other food trucks that are in that parking lot? Because isn't there like 2 other ones there that we can ask?
I did reach out to 3B2 as well while I was there. Once again, they were not I didn't get a positive response, but I did drop
So
off
strange. It would
forms
feel like it would be good for business for them just to.
for sure, absolutely. I felt the exact same way. I try to locate that truck. I think Jamaican food truck was I used to see that by the LCBO Plaza, but in last week or so I haven't seen that, so I didn't reach out to them. But
Has anyone reached out to the poutine truck? Because they might.
No.
I think they're in the Trainer parking lot as well now.
Brian?
Apparently, it's a big ordeal to actually unhook all those trucks from that parking lot. That's why Blissful Treats have like a trailer type of thing that they, like a second trailer. Apparently, it's quite a big ordeal to disconnect the hydro and all that stuff. I'm not sure if that's really the case, but that's what I've been told before. So I don't know how severe it is. So
Yes, Amy.
So like for Rib Fest, we obviously have a lot of food vendors, so I can see if I can find a list of what food vendors we have for Rib Fest and see if I can contact them.
Absolutely, that's great. Yeah, I did reach out
They
to
might be
Pizza Hut.
Orangeville based, but they're still somewhat local. Like if we can't get any of the Shelburne ones, maybe I can find some from Orangeville.
That's unfortunate in not seeing that turn around for this event again. Brian, you have any last minute comment on that? Anything you want to add?
I know no one probably wants this so much, but like, has anyone reached out to like Domino's or Johnny's or Pizza Hut or Pizzaville to see if they, they at least get pizza there or something? I don't know.
I reached out to Pizza Hut. That plaza is basically behind my house, so I did reach out to him. He showed an interest as well, but again, since then I was not well myself, so yeah, I didn't get a chance to connect with him back again. I do have a contact at Pizzaville, so I can definitely reach out to them and see what we can work with that. But
And
anyone else, go ahead. Yeah.
is that Marble Slab, or I think it's called Marble Slab Creamery? Is it open? Sorry, I've been
It
away.
is
So.
open as well. I did reach out to them as well. I dropped off the form as well. I did all of the entire plaza. Actually, I covered entire plaza, including Tim Horton the other day. I mean, I'm talking about 2 weeks back. I'll connect with them back again tomorrow. I'm just gonna spend half a day there, and connect them with them back again to see where they are at. Jimmy, you have something to add on?
Just in terms of public health forms and submissions, it's 14 days before the event, so we are coming up quite quickly to that. If I did the counting right, that's June 18th. They may accept forms after the fact, but I can't guarantee that they would be approved on time. So just keeping that in mind, you've got kind of days to meet that 14-day mark, and then everything after that is just seeing if it can be approved on time for the event. I'm not sure if on an alternative, if you can try to partner with businesses downtown in terms of restaurants and see if, I know not on site, but might be just another option there.
Thank you, Jamie. That's very valuable info. Brian?
Jamie, if they're already pre-approved, like for example, if someone already has the health stuff all done for like Rib Fest, can it not apply to the candidate, or does it have to be individual per function?
To my understanding, they should still be filling out the vendor form, but they can reach out to public health and public health will collect what they need regardless. So if they want to contact them before filling out that form, I would recommend that. But to my understanding, it's filling out for each event, or I believe it has listed if they're attending multiple events or multiple days. Yeah, they can definitely contact the public health first and see what's required.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Yes, going into the 4.4 if anyone has any question regarding 4.4a, definitely floor is still open. But if not, I am going to move right on to 4.3.
Where are we? 4.4. Oh, just a minute here. 4.4, 4.4, 4.4.
It's at the bottom of page 2.
Yeah, no. I'm good.
Picnic table update. Crystal is not here. Jimmy, do you have anything to say around that area?
I was only raising my hand just to ask if Crystal did provide any update on it to share, or if we just haven't heard back. That was my only question there.
Ellis, can you?
I haven't received anything, so I'll just make a note to add it to next agenda.
4.4B, retail zone vendor form and public health forms from the subcommittee. I wanted to really thank you, Jamie, for helping out and filling those forms. Definitely, that's great. Great beginning. I've never done this before, but thank you, Jamie, and thanks to you. Definitely were able to complete that. But if you can just provide the committee that update on how we did on that, and also then I'll take it from question from Alice or a comment from Alice after that.
Yeah, absolutely. My pleasure. Happy to help that way. They did receive our application, so I did get formal confirmation that confirming receipt of the application. And at that time, this was June 6th and 7th when we had an email exchange. They had only received one food vendor application, and that was Finiti Seafood Depot, and they've got all the public health requirements. So that was kind of the last communication. I said, thanks for letting us know. If there's anything you need from, the town as the organizer, keep us posted essentially. And then as more food vendor applications come in, if they can confirm that they're approved from a public health standpoint, that would be helpful. And I haven't heard anything else back. So our application is in and received.
Thank you very much for the brief, overview on that process. Let's see.
My
you were
updates
saying-
on the vendor forms themselves. So if you want to finish with the public health stuff first, that's fine.
Yeah, I think Jamie had covered all areas, so over to you, Alice.
Okay, so I just wanted to update the committee. I received a little bit more information about the special event vendor fee that we're having to charge. So essentially, as it stands right now, if someone wants to be a vendor and they don't currently have a business license within the town of Shelburne, then they're required to pay the special event fee, which means the vendor could then, in essence, having to be paying $200. The purpose of that fee was originally for street festival and other events like that were held within the town, but the town didn't really have participation in, and it was a way to ensure that the town got some vendor money. So it was never intended to be on top of a vendor fee that was already being charged. It, in essence, is the vendor fee. So some people that have contacted the town haven't been happy about the fact that they have to pay $200. So the question that I have to the committee is, we cannot waive the special event fee because that is via bylaw, but the committee could choose to waive the vendor fee. So if they don't have a license, they only have to pay one fee. If they do have a license, they still pay one fee. It's just going to keep it consistent across the board as far as it's just a different name because of the bylaw. And then in the future, if the committee chooses, they could recommend that council repeal that bylaw since those events are no longer in place. And then it wouldn't be an issue for future years. But that is some of the feedback that I've gotten from potential vendors, that having to pay $200 is a bit much. So if the committee chose to, they could choose to waive that fee for out of town vendors so that it is consistent for only $100.
Thank you, Alice. What do we feel? Kyle and Alan, can you just help us a little bit more in that way? I wanted to pick your brain because Alice, thank you for that introduction or that prep, but I just wanted to understand a little bit more. And I think Kyle and Len are probably the best resources in that matter. So let me hear from Kyle first.
Sure, I would be okay with waiving that for this year. I mean, it's something that kind of slipped under the radar. We weren't really fully aware of. So I do understand the frustration and the difficulty that we've got. And certainly going forward, we do need to appeal to council to make sure that that is waived ahead of time. Unfortunately, we are way too late at this point. So honestly, I mean, we're struggling to get vendors in. So personally, I would say, you know what, let's do away with it. Let's let them in.
Glenn, can you share your
Just,
thoughts?
I would tend to agree with Kyle, in that regard. I would just point out that it may be a good idea to ensure that the vendor's fee for outside businesses is higher than the inside businesses within the town that have registered, just so there's no complaining from local I could see a conflict where town businesses that have registered would say, well, what's the advantage to being a town business
So-
if we're going to get a break?
So just to clarify on that, we have had one vendor apply so far. And they are an out-of-town vendor.
Okay,
The other out-of-town vendor that was considering backed out when they were told they would have to pay $200.
Gotcha.
The vendor fee from the out-of-town as well as the in-town, regardless of how it's whether related to the bylaw or what the committee decided, it's still coming back to the Canada Day Committee. So.
right, but I could,
And it is advertised that it is $100. So if we started changing, we'd have to redo all
Yeah.
the forms and, basically the ask is for the committee to consider waiving the vendor fee of $100 since the special event fee is the vendor fee for out-of-town people. So instead of asking them to pay the same thing twice, because part of it is called a different name, we're just saying, hey, can we just, for out of town, just one fee, in town, one fee. Unfortunately, they have to be called different things.
sure, fine, that makes sense. I just could see, a downtown local Shelburne business that wants to be a vendor questioning why they have to have a business license if in-town and out-of-town vendors are the same, but that's okay. We can let it slide this year for sure.
Well, and they're in town every day. They get it all day. This is a one time.
You know what I'm saying?
Brian?
So if we had someone that's sponsored like All Pro Roofing, since they're not in the town of Shelburne, do they have to pay that fee on top of the sponsorship for the vendor booth?
No, because they chose not to have a vendor booth. And part of the sponsorship was you get the vendor booth, but they don't have a vendor booth. And the other organization from out of town donated their vendor booth so to the plowing match. So there's no fee for that booth.
But would there have been?
If the plowing match came and applied for a booth, then the plowing match would have had to pay for a booth, yes.
Kyle, and then I'd like to hear from Amy after that.
Just to let you know, I just texted my wife to ask her about the Canets, and the response is way too late. So don't count on the Canets for the kitchen.
Thank you. Amy, your thought on Alice's vendor fee?
Yeah, I agree that it makes sense to waive it, so all the vendors pay the same.
Perfect. Alice, do you need anything from the core team here? Yes. Okay. So can you help me form the motion on that matter?
Yes, I would just request a motion that the committee waives the vendor fee for out of town vendors who pay the special event fee.
All right. So I am seeking a motion. First of all, are we all in agreement with that? Can I have a show of hand on that first? Brian, are you raising hand? You have a question? Sorry, I got confused because your hand was up before as well.
I was just doing the motion.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, you're ahead of the game. Okay, perfect. Can we show of hand that we are agreeing to waive this vendor fee for out of town as a special vendor fee? Beyond that, so can I have someone to make a motion, or can I have someone to make a motion on waiving the vendor fee for out of town vendor as a specific vendor fee, I guess, is that right, Alice?
Yeah, so for waive the vendor fee for out-of-town vendors who pay the special event fee.
To special event fee.
Yeah,
Have someone
so
to make a motion on that?
I had Brian move it.
Brian moved it, seconded by Kyle, all in favor? I do, also carried. Okay. Thank you, Alice, for bringing that up. Definitely, that was very, very important. Activity zone, is Ken here, or did Ken mention anything that he's going to join today? Oh, okay, all right, so I think Ken is actually, I saw his video yesterday as well on Facebook regarding his bike, that he's looking for someone. But so yeah, exciting news, I guess, that he's working on to make this event fun for anyone else has any question, any comment on that area. Activities 4.4C. I think we are all good. Amy, I know you're working silently for the next year, so please keep us in the loop if you have any update from that point. Okay. I believe we did all receive an update for the emergency response team, but Kyle, anything to add on it? Anything you're missing onto the, sorry, Amy, you had your hand up for some question.
Yeah, sorry, I'm also sort of multitasking, emailing food trucks. For the Midway, I did hear back from the rest of the Midways, and all of them have preset events that they go to every year. So I couldn't find any that would be available for next year.
I'll over to you for 4.4D emergency response team. I know you did report the progress onto that earlier as well, but is there anything else that you want to?
The only thing I'd like to request, can we stop calling it Say Hello Zone? Can we just get rid of that, because it really confuses me.
No, that's right. That's why I said it emergency response
Yeah,
team.
absolutely.
I didn't say hello zone, because I know it is definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Aside from that, I think there's not much more I can add to what I've already reported.
Perfect. Sounds good. Entertainment zone, I believe we have a separate new business item on that, so we can take that as a new business if everyone is okay with that, because I think Len has some update to provide us with. So we'll
Just on the ambulance, Tom is going to give me a call. I've got a message out to my cousin. Tom's going to give me a call tomorrow, and we'll see if we can get a ambulance or some sort of a display there. And also would be good to have them on site just in case something catches fire.
Perfect. Alice, just wondering, can we cover 4.4E? I'm sorry, 4.4E entertainment. Can we bring Len to speak about the entertainment piece that he actually sent in an email to us, or do you
Absolutely,
want
you can
to keep it as? Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's hear it from Len regarding the entertainment. Len, over to you. Sorry, we put you in spot.
But no, that's okay. Just a heads up on the entertainment. We have the Matlocks, which are a really good high school band. They've made a name for themselves. They played last year at the Heritage Music Festival. in August, and they are going to do 2 sets for us, 40 minutes long, and they will be costing us $700. They are a 5-piece band. Opening will be Sandy Heron, who's going to do 45 minutes, and she's costing us 150. So our total budget is $850 for entertainment. I will donate equipment, so that there's no cost for that. I just would request some sweat equity. I'll probably be in there starting the setup around 11 o'clock that day. So if we have any sweat equity, strong backs, weak minds would be greatly appreciated.
I don't know how strong my back is at this point in my life, but I'll certainly help out.
I will be there for you as well.
Not speaking to the weak mind.
You taught me in school, Len, so you know what I am.
Oh no, I meant with Kyle. I meant Kyle. And no, yeah, any assistance would be greatly appreciated. Just slugging cabinets and stuff like that. So yeah, so I didn't know what the budget was. So entertainment budget, I thought we had $1,000. So if we're all kind of in agreement on the costs and the musicians, then it was a challenge to get a band. A lot of the bands had already booked other events. So, but these guys are good, and I have every confidence that they will put on a good show. Jamie, they've got the 28th. They're playing at the town hall. If anybody wants to give them a pre-event listen, but I've heard them before. They're great. Nice bunch of kids. And I believe in paying musicians, so I didn't mind paying them.
Absolutely. So with that said, I'm going to go back to Alice for a quick question, as well as Alice may have some comment, I guess. Looks like it. So Alice, just wondering, how do I proceed in regards to Len's request on, about the budget and so on.
We would need a motion from the committee to approve these 2 acts at these prices. And Len, can you just confirm that you have signed contracts and that they have insurance?
Well, I do not have signed contracts. I have verbal contracts with both. I didn't put together a signed contract. I know that I can confirm that they don't have insurance.
Well, I know that the one group does have insurance for the event for the 28th, so we should be able to work with them. But maybe you and I can touch base tomorrow. We don't need to discuss it here, but if we can discuss insurance and contract requirements, that would be really appreciated.
Fine.
Thank you, Alice, for keeping us on our toe, for sure. Really appreciate that. Kyle, you have any comment, question, anything to add on?
Quick question for Alice and Jamie. Do we have $1,000 to spend for entertainment? Okay. As long as we're covered, we're good.
Especially with the sponsorships that you have gotten. Yes, you do.
Beautiful. Okay. Thank you very much. Just want to make sure that we were covered financially. So I'm like Len, I do like paying entertainment. So I don't mind spending the money as long as it's there.
So it's a silly question, because I don't have event entertainment for this event as such. Is there a town rider we can, or is that something you and I need to have a conversation about?
Yeah, you and I will talk tomorrow, Len.
Okay, no problem. Thanks.
Perfect. So going back to the committee members, regarding how do you feel Len's, the request to approve this, the musician $850 budget for our Canada Day event. How do you feel? Any question, Brian, Amy? Kyle had a question. Actually, it was somewhat along the similar line. I had a question for Alice as well, but that's answered. So I am not in doubt about anything. Brian or Amy, any question for this this proposal from Len? Yes, Brian.
So if we have a budget of $1,000, is there any possibility to get them to play longer, Len? Like start it earlier, so we have a little bit more something going on before the open ceremonies?
I will just be providing music between 3 and when the acts go on and when between the acts go on. So there'll always be something, you know, I mean, in the air. It won't necessarily be live music. Probably be playing some car related stuff for the car show, and you know, just I won't be playing Baby Shark or anything like that for the kids. So
Do you need anything for your time or cost?
No.
You sure?
no, I am. I said I would donate that stuff and equipment use. So that's part of I don't mind doing that.
So if we have an extra $250, if we have to go out and purchase some type of lighting for the bird, is that reasonable for $250? I sold all my DJ lights, so I don't have them anymore. So
Yeah. Okay. I have some lighting. I will do some investigation tomorrow. I'm just wondering if it's just lighting for inside the structure, if we could possibly even just use some, you know, work lights or something like that, you know, we can bounce off the roof. Just in the interim. Yeah.
Jamie?
It looks like I sent a picture. We do have lights in there. So, and I know we have hydro access as well. So I'm going to follow up with Brad's team tomorrow for light requirements, because I know we can set timers for all of the lights around the buildings in the park. And again, it does look like we have lights underneath there. So I'm going to follow up with operations for that.
Fantastic. Thank you, Jamie. It does look like a light. I actually didn't zoom in the picture quite a bit, but yes. Brian, you have a follow-up to it?
yeah, I think the problem with the lights is they're all fluorescent lights and they're all on the same, like they all come on. You can't shut a few banks off. I think it was just too bright. I think that was the reason why no lights were on last year.
Yeah.
Leave it with me and Kyle, and we'll figure something out, and maybe Jamie, between the three of us, we can
Yeah, exactly.
figure out what's there. Yeah.
Going back to your original question, I know Alice, you had your hand up. I don't know, was it something you want to add on?
I just wanted to clarify, there's not actually $1,000 of budget for entertainment. It's that because of the sponsorships, we have some money that we can spend toward this. So the committee didn't actually set a budget for entertainment or anything like that. So, you know, I don't want the committee to think we suddenly have a couple extra $100 to spend. We do have this little bit because of the sponsorships that we can use towards this entertainment.
Perfect. Thank you for the clarification.
So going forward, like in future years, we can set actual budgets for actual, like, this is how much we're going to spend for advertising. This is how much we're going to spend for entertainment going forward. We don't have that for this year, but there is that room for these entertainers because of the sponsorships. And then there would still be some room within the budget that was already presented with the shortfall for the fireworks grant to cover the difference for the fireworks and do some printing and advertising, which still needs to be done.
And I've tried to keep things reasonably frugal.
Brian, you have something to add on it, quick comment, or is there any comment follow-up?
Do we actually have like an updated budget of exactly where we're at?
The only money that you have committed to, other than the fireworks, it will be, once this motion passes, would be this entertainment.
And how much money do we have in the account? Like, do we have enough to cover the fireworks?
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect. So if there's no further question, Brian, from you, I'd like to hear from Amy regarding Len's proposal on this, and then we'll just take a quick motion on that.
Yeah, I don't have anything to add to it.
Perfect, thank you. Kyle, you have a question? Comment?
Just a quick question for Alice and Jamie. As far as budget goes, we're again blowing our load. So next year we are going to have to request council to support Canada Day event, I'm assuming. Okay.
Unless you can increase the sponsorships and vendors for next year. But yeah, because the budget would have to be done first, then yes, you will have to ask for support from council, but you'll have a good response to the sponsorships with the time that you've had this year compared to previous years. So I'm not going to speak for council, but that does look favorably on this committee.
Okay, fantastic. I just wanted to make sure that if it has to be brought forward budget time, I knew ahead of time. So if that's the case, then I want to make sure it's on my radar. So
yeah, so that would be something that we would want to discuss by the September meeting at the latest. So either the wrap up in July, do a motion then, or the September meeting at the absolute latest.
perfect. Okay, thank you for that.
Perfect, perfect. So if there's no question, I'd like to just test the floor for the entertainment budget, to approve the entertainment budget as requested. It's $850, 700 for the heritage music. Oh, sorry, 750 for the band, and then Sandy Aaron's 150, 850 in total. Just want to test the floor, see if everyone is in agreement of moving with that for the event. Thumbs up. Yes, yes, all good. So can someone make a motion to approve the entertainment budget as presented? Is that something? Does that sound right? Yeah. Okay. All right. Brian, I know your hand was up there. Yes. Seconded by Kyle. Always first. I like that. And all in favor. Right. Perfect. Thank you. Motion carried. This piece 4.4F Carso event update. Let's hear it from Kyle. We'll have some. I know things are in progress, so definitely.
Yeah, so the guys have been running around like chickens with their heads cut off. They are working on things. I don't have an actual report back from them. Brendan was going to join us on the last planned meeting to give us an actual report. Amy, are you available this week potentially that we could have a Zoom meeting potentially? Yep. Okay, so I'll let Brendan know that, and we'll get that arranged, just so that you and I can work with them to find out what they need from us. I know they're doing things behind the scenes, but I think it's good for you and I to at least touch base with them and see what we can do to help.
Yep.
Okay, I will keep you up to date, and I will contact you as soon as I know better.
Fantastic. Thank you, Kyle, for checking on and tapping and checking in on. That's great. So if that's 4.4, let's move on to 4.5 fireworks update. Jamie, you have anything to add from the last meeting that was presented on this 4.5?
Not all too much to add there. Had done the site visit with Chief Ralph as well as Dean from Pyro World, with Brad, our public works supervisor. So that went quite well. He did indicate that the more space from the back half, basically the entire back half, to have that kind of dedicated for fireworks and just kind of keeping people out of that area is preferred. So kind of just providing that update there. In terms of the fire ban, Alice kind of addressed that earlier. We have been in touch with both the fire department and Pyro World just as kind of things unravel and unfold there. Within the proposal, in terms of rain, so your event is rain or shine. They indicated that they'll do everything in their power to set up and produce a safe display in the event of rain. However, if it's 90% precipitation for the entire day, they would postpone the rain date to the following day, the 2nd of July. And they would make that decision as early as possible to prevent any water damage. In the case of high winds, the supervisor will fire a test 5 minutes prior, and that if it's safe to proceed, they can. If it's not, again, they will postpone to the following day, July 2nd. And then in the case of the fire ban, it's up to the fire department to approve or not. But under those circumstances, the display would be canceled outright with no cost to the town of Shelburne. So those are kind of the parameters there in terms of rain, wind, and fire for us and the proposal. And again, it's just been town staff and myself just kind of going through the motions with both the fire department and Pyro World to make sure we have all the documents and plans in place for that.
Fantastic. Thank you for this update, Jamie. Anyone has any question for you? Yes, Kyle.
Jamie, is there any chance that you might be able to provide us some kind of a map of Fiddle Park, just so that I can take it to the guys for the car show and see where they can map out for the cars?
Absolutely. Yep.
With that said, same thing, like if you could maybe provide the updated map with where you are thinking for the fireworks, stage and so on, so that way Kyle can work with those guys to set up for the car show and so on. So that's definitely very helpful. Any other question from the team?
I would just say in terms of if you're familiar with Fiddle Park, where the new dog park is, that back grass area is essentially what they're looking to set up, and they will be in the opposite end of where the dog park is in terms of exactly where they're going to set up and fire. We typically do our snow storage in that corner, so that's kind of their general location, but again, just wanting kind of the entire back half blocked off just to be safe than sorry. In terms of the stage, that will be placed under the pavilion, but I will absolutely follow up with that kind of aerial view with those features there. The only other thing is it relates to fireworks, and this might come into new business a little bit, is just depending on who's on site, being able to provide contact information to the fireworks providers, as well as their contact information to whoever is on site. Just being able to get that consent and have that channel of communication. They'll need to arrange the AOK to start the music for them to start the fireworks. So just having whoever is on site kind of a list of contacts and who to contact when, and I'll be able to provide that information from Pyro World.
Yeah, sounds good. Actually, yes, Len, go ahead.
Just a quick question, Jamie, with regard to the stage going to be underneath the structure. Are you aware, is there any lighting any stage lighting in the trailer that we know of, or there's nothing there at all? Okay.
I just walked through it. It'll be up tomorrow for 6 Fridays in the park. But I walked through the stage the other day, took pictures. I didn't notice any lights. No.
Okay, thanks.
So yeah, there's absolutely no lighting whatsoever. It's all external. That if you want to light the stage, it's got to be what you and I can provide.
Fine, we'll work on it.
We'll figure it out.
Thank you very much, Jamie, for update. Any last call for any question for Jamie? Perfect. All set. Thank you. Moving on to the 4.6 social media update. Crystal is unfortunately not with us today. However, we did see a post from Len, and then it was shared from Crystal and was shared by Len, and I also did sharing of that post. Is there anyone know any other posts been posted on the social media from Crystal for Canada Day? All right, let's move on to agenda item 5, new business, advertising for event. Alice, over to you for that.
Yes, I put this on here because just a reminder to the committee that, we did promise those that sponsored that they would be included in their advertising. And as of yet, we haven't actually done any. And we're talking about printing signs. We're on the stage. And I just wanted to bring that to the committee's attention that, we're about 2.5 weeks out now. We need to get some things printed, determine who's doing what, how that's being done, especially for those sponsors that have paid good money for those sponsorships and been promised that advertising.
Let me make sure that I make very clear to the committee, if we are printing corrugate signs, you need a week minimum to actually have them produced. If we're 2 weeks out, we need to make sure that we get these ordered like stat.
Amy?
Does anyone have a local person, like a local business in Shelburne that does printing? Okay, because I was gonna say I know someone in Orangeville, but
Well, the problem is that it's a conflict of interest. It's what I do for a living, so I can't really do it.
So is that something you'd say yes or no for the printing possible in Shelburne? In our town, local?
I mean, that's a rough area that I don't really want to wade into. I mean, it's conflict of interest I cannot go into. So I've got to be very, very, I mean, even if we did Vistaprint, you're still looking 5 days. And that would be the alternative that I would recommend.
Absolutely. And I thank you very much for, keeping that conflict of interest in mind and, declaring it upfront. It's definitely really appreciated. Brian, you have a question before we go back to Amy for further maybe, dig into this matter and get some
Yeah, so-
numbers and
So if Kyle steps away for 5 minutes and the board kind of talk about that, can we do that? About maybe using Kyle's services to make the signs?
The only problem is I don't think we have quorum if I step away.
Right.
Okay, can you just walk away if you leave your camera on? The only other person
Alice, I mean, Alice is shaking her head. No, that's still gonna be. It's you can't make the decision because we don't have quorum.
that's right.
The only other person I know in town is Tim Ursu, as Ursu Signcraft, that's in Shelburne area, so.
Well, if you want to go Shelburne area, you've got Sign Needs, you've got McCarthy Signs, and I can tell you right now, they're going to be far more expensive than Vistaprint. If you want these signs printed cheaply, Vistaprint's your best option, but you're still looking 5 days. If you're looking for a fast turnaround, local, Live to Wrap or McCarthy Signs is going to be your option, but you're going to pay 4 times the price.
what if we do quotes? Like we can do quotes for those 2 places, and then I have a close contact for someone in Orangeville. I could do a quote for them as well.
100%, absolutely. Realistically, honestly, if we can get somebody local, I think we can push the timeline, but we've got to make sure that whoever is quoting knows that we have to have a fast turnaround. We're not looking for a lot of signs. We're looking for maybe 2 at most, I think. So realistically, as long as there's a close contact, it may be able to be done, but we've got to let them know.
Alice and then Len. Alice, you have a question, comment?
Yeah.
Anything?
Kyle, I'm going to ask a question, and if you're not comfortable answering it, feel free. Has your company printed stuff in the past, like just someone else from a committee or someone else from the town came to your company and you weren't part of it, you would just receive the information and printed it, or have you done nothing?
There has been times when I have stepped away from the committee and the committee decided to use us. Yes, it has happened in the past.
Okay, so that being said, I would, if I could make a suggestion, if everyone's comfortable with that, that you could task a subcommittee, and all of you on the quorum right now could vote on the subcommittee and task the subcommittee with making the decision about who the printer is going to be. And as long as Kyle is not on that subcommittee, if the subcommittee has the approval of the committee, then you are not in that position.
Alice, you are such a genius. I love the way you work.
I would suggest that the subcommittee be 3 people. And, you know, you can communicate with Kyle about what type of stuff the sign should be, but Kyle can't be involved in any decision of the subcommittee. And then the subcommittee would just have to report back to the committee any decisions that they make. And I would recommend that the committee give the subcommittee a budget to work with.
Brian, you have a question, comment, anything? Or to add, like to add something?
I would just like to ask if we happen to be doing the subcommittee, would that company have the material in time to supply it in time?
So that's something the subcommittee would have to determine in getting multiple quotes, because I would still recommend the subcommittee get multiple quotes.
Okay.
All right, so yes,
Len
Len.
had his hand up still, Samantha.
Yeah, just quick, are we looking for just like a banner for the front of the stage? Is that it? Is this just like a one-off type of deal?
I wouldn't do a banner. I would suggest a corrugate.
Okay, but
And
not the
any-
whole width of the stage.
And any of your flyers would have to include the sponsor information as well.
Right, right.
Banner is going to be about 4 times the price as a corrugate. If we do a corrugate, I would suggest doing something like, I don't know, what, 18 by 20 ish, or even bigger. Well, no, a little bigger. Do 20 by 36 ish as far as corrugate goes, and then you hang it on. The way the stage opens up, you've got those doors, and we typically sign on the door.
Sorry, had to get away. Had to get rid of a cat.
Another cat.
Another cat, yeah. Okay, that's fine. I just wasn't sure what when we're talking about sign, what we're looking for.
Brian, I know you had your hand up. Just wanted to quickly wrap this and make sure that we form a subcommittee to process this thing. So if you-
I'm fine, so don't worry about it.
Perfect.
like-
So this
Technically, I run a company too, but I'm providing my services in kind. You know what I mean? Like I'm just so we're all in the. So
Yeah, and
that's
Samir,
just to avoid that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yet another subcommittee, but I understand there's material costs and stuff like that as well.
So it's clear, I'm not looking to make profit on this. If the subcommittee decides to have me in that, it's not for profit.
he just can't be part of any decision making.
Not whatsoever. Absolutely.
And for the committee, just a reminder, on your sponsorship form, you did indicate that there would be a banner and a sponsorship wall. So that indicates 2 different spots of advertising.
Okay, so banner, was there specification on size of the banner?
There was not specifications. It just says center stage banner and then a sponsorship wall, as well as social media and printed.
Okay, I'm just on my other computer right here looking to see what it's gonna cost going through me, and I will get back to the committee in a second.
Okay, not on this meeting, Kyle.
Not on this meeting.
Fair enough, thank you. Okay,
Wait for the committee to approach you should they choose to.
thank you for that.
All right, so let's form a subcommittee on that. If anyone is interested to be a part of that subcommittee, or should I just volunteer someone to be on it? Brian is up. Yes, thank you, Brian. And Len and Amy, all yours. Absolutely. Would that be okay? 3? Yeah. Okay. So can I make? Can we request a motion? I guess in that matter.
Yeah, so we would want a motion that Brian, Lynn, and Amy be appointed to a subcommittee for advertising purposes, and that the advertising subcommittee have the authority to make advertising decisions up to, and then pick an amount, say $1,000, and report back to the committee.
That's great. Thanks, Alice. That's your everyday job. It's kind of difficult,
okay,
but
I've
I'll
got
make
it.
it. I'll make it. I'll make a motion. So we are looking for a motion, or I'm looking for a motion that Canada Day Committee approve or form
Appoint.
for us to appoint a subcommittee for an advertisement or advertising subcommittee, and that committee is allowed to or first of all, before we take that motion, I just want to make sure that amount is discussed first. I'm sorry. Yes. So what's the comfortable amount, guys? Any thought on that?
I would ask Jamie and Alice, what do we have? in the-
Yes. Alice and Jamie, any help around this would be really appreciated.
I was going to say, Alice, can you pull back up the revenues that they have so far? Please.
Yeah, I'm just looking for it. Bear with me 1 second. I accidentally closed it. There we go. Okay, so right now there's $1,250 in sponsorships. And then the original budget for the committee was 17. So you do still have the room for some advertising there. And if the committee needs more, they can come back to the whole committee and ask for more, but at least this gives them something to get started with.
Jamie, any number, anything you want to share?
I've just gone back to open up the budget, but so just give me a moment, but it would be up to you folks to determine between the 17, like Alice was saying, we've got about 10,000 for fireworks. You've got the 1,000, just over 1,000 in the sponsorship, but about 800 of that is gone. I'm not quite certain how much flyers and banners cost, but I'm just pulling up your last year's budget.
Quick question, maybe Alice and Jamie can answer this. Are we allowed to use town resources to print flyers and what have you?
I'm printing all the flyers on.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Brian. I wasn't sure. Okay, thanks for that clarification.
While we're talking about flyers, has anyone, Al, have you made up one yet, or are we gonna use the one from last year?
How would
Did anything up yet? It wasn't requested yet, so I mean.
Okay, sorry.
If the committee would like me to work on designing one, I'd be happy to. Where are we distributing the flyers? That's the biggest question. And what kind of flyers are we looking at? Single sheets? Are we looking at folded?
Single sheets we are gonna send to the school with Ken bank with the bicycle thing across the bottom that Ken sent there.
Okay, so we're taking what Ken sent, and then we just got restricted space above, which we can easily put something together. That's easy
And
enough.
we could put the sponsors on that sheet too, so.
100%.
And the
But
bands.
yeah, but I need to kind of get those to the schools next week if
Yeah, and if you need to get those to the schools next week, I need to know that I got to design these.
So I'm sure we are all okay for you to do that fantastic work. I'm sure you're taking a lot on. I love it actually, but I don't know where you're getting those energy from. I have no idea, to be honest with
I never sleep.
you. I feel with my work and the other work and a couple of the other things, I feel that I'm over exhausted actually sometimes, but hats off to you. Yes, sir. Len?
So I just saw on Facebook, so I don't know how true it is, that it's not a bicycle, but an electric scooter. But I could be mistaken, so. Not sure if that's what was changed, or if there's going to be a bicycle and an electric scooter, or if it's just one. I don't know.
Alice, if you don't mind sharing what Ken had shared with us, actually all of us, regarding what he would like to be on.
I wasn't aware until I saw the Facebook post that it might have switched as
Oh.
well, but that's his option, right? Because it's his
That's his option, yes, that's his
giveaway.
territory.
So, yeah.
So while Jamie work on some numbers, I guess anyone else want to throw out some number, I guess we can start working with that, and then we can form a motion. At least we can start working on that area. Len, from your experience in past, what would that cost look like? If you can just help us
For which, a flyer?
for the
or-
flyers and banners and all those.
there's no cost to the flyers.
Okay,
Oh, yeah, the cost of the flyers. Thank you.
the cost is going to depend on how many colors, how many, how much graphics, what the coverage is. I don't know. Is it unrealistic to look at, I don't know, between $200 and $500? Are we looking at more or less? I mean, depends on urgency and turnaround.
You're talking about a single banner and a single corrugate sign? Is that what we're looking at?
Yeah, something like that. Even if we said we limit our budget to $250 for signage, I think we can get.
If you plan around 500, you're going to be covered. You should be covered.
Okay. And if it comes in under that, then at least we've got
Comes in
that.
under
buffer.
that, and then we're laughing.
And
Is it-
as my uncle would always say to anybody, because he was Italian, make sure the pencil is sharp when you're doing the calculations.
That's right.
So
Exactly,
anyway,
exactly.
Is the banner more money than the corrugate?
I can't answer that because that
my
would
ex-
So I'm
Okay.
gonna stay out of that.
My experience is it's going to be based on square footage of the banner. I mean, that's the big determining factor.
Like, I'm just thinking that if we use 2 corrugate signs, if they're less money than a banner. Like, and just talk.
So
like,
the
it doesn't have-
specifics of what should be used and when that can be decided by the subcommittee. That's the purpose of having the subcommittee, is so that those specifics don't have to be decided in this meeting right now.
Correct.
The individuals in this, what we need right now is just an amount, what you're comfortable giving to the subcommittee, and you'll have room if you go with $500, and then I'll make sure we have an updated expense budget for the next meeting. And then if the committee needs more, they can talk to the committee as a whole at that time.
Perfect, yeah. So what do you as an entire committee feel like to let subcommittee, spend $500, they don't need an approval up to $500, and then anything beyond that, they would come back to the candidate committee for an approval. Would
think
that be a reasonable number?
I think 500 is a reasonable number for sure.
Okay, all right. So I think let's just, without further delay, let's go on to that and make a motion to approve advertising subcommittee consists of Amy Riceborough, Brian, and Len, and also subcommittee to approve and also allow subcommittee to approve budget up to $500 and report it back to the candidate committee. Can I have someone make a motion for that? That's Kyle and Brian, all in favor? Aye, motion carried on that. Okay.
So, and the
Thank you.
subcommittee can just communicate via email during this week and get that going ASAP amongst the 3 of you. And if you need assistance, please don't hesitate to reach out to me.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Alice, for that offer. Absolutely. Great. We appreciated that. Then there was a question came back last meeting, I believe. It's regarding the security of the event, police services, and anything associated costs with it. So that's in a new business. Can you provide more context to that, Glenn?
Okay, well, I just wondering if we're paying duty officers for security. I'm wondering if there will be, like, what the costs are for that. And I know they're expensive. Do we have any plans for security? Have we even advised the OPP that this event is happening, and it'd be nice to have them stop by? There's also the issue of the potential issue of certain individuals or groups who have draped themselves in the Canadian flag for the cause of their choice, who might want to circumvent, hijack the you know what I mean, parts thereof. I can see the potential for that happening. We don't want to have you know what I mean, this turn into an embarrassment. So there's that concern. Yeah, I just wasn't sure if we were paying duty officers, if we were advising the OPP what the protocol is for that. And like I said, that other concern in regard to our bi-weekly events. Yes. So, but
If we were to pay paid duty, you're looking minimum $400 for 2 officers. And in the past, it's actually gone much, much higher, especially considering how long they're there. Honestly, I don't think we necessarily need them, especially considering that I've already reached out to them for having auxiliary officers there for the first responders area. They do know that we are there. They do know that the event is happening. Worst case scenario, I'm very close contact with quite a few of the officers, so I'm sure I could easily pick up the phone very quickly and have response very, very fast if necessary.
Thank you. Jamie, you have something to add on?
Unmute myself. Just to add in terms of kind of notifying public and emergency services and those types of pieces. So I do have a note for myself just to add that into Municipal 511. That's really for kind of traffic control pieces and any road closures and any impacts that could potentially be out on the road, sidewalks, those types of pieces. So now that we have kind of a set times and kind of a guide of where we're going with the event, we'll update Municipal 511. I can send that notification out to the emails for Shelburne Road closures, even though there is not a road closure. Again, just notifying that event is happening there, and emergency services and a number of other folks get those notifications, or the public, anyone who is opening Municipal 511 can see that there is an event at the park.
Thank you, Jamie. Really appreciate that. The core context of this discussion. Alice, you have something to add on?
Yes, and just in addition to what Jamie said, because there is no alcohol being served, there's no requirement to have police or security there. And as well, the town does have a bylaw officer scheduled during the day. So there is a bylaw officer working that day as well.
Okay, that's great. I just wasn't sure how that all fell into potential budget costs. But if we seem to have that covered gratis or at minimum, just with staff on site, that would be cool. I just to back up a little bit, apologies. Just got a message from the Matlocks. Yes, we can. It's only the same start time. So Matlocks can't start before 8 p.m. They'll be happy to do 2 sets of 40 minutes. We can also try to do a set list by early next week. Great. I will send a quick email back asking them if they can extend their insurance.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. And thank you, Len, for this is very, very valuable and important, piece of protection that we could provide it to the town residents for this event. And that's definitely, thank you for bringing that up and discuss as a business here. So I'm very glad for that talk. Having said that, 5.3 entertainment budget, it's already been discussed as an agenda item 4.4E. So there's nothing more to add on it. So at this point, we have reached to the full agenda.
No, there was that
yes,
one
Alice?
new item. There was the one new item we added. The letter from the proposed vendor.
Oh, yes. Sorry, you mentioned this.
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead. Over
Okay.
to you, Alice, provide more context on that.
Okay, so this, I'm going to share my screen here. So this is a letter to the committee from Tanya Miller. She owns Happy Paws, and she is a dog trainer, and she has paid for a vendor fee. So she's the one confirmed vendor for the Canada Day Festival, and she's going to be selling and promoting dehydrated dog treats. She would like to bring some pieces of agility equipment for a fun and unique interactive activity for dog owners. Agility brings a lot of great benefits to owners and dogs. And she would like to bring some of that and showcase that and give members of the public who are there during the afternoon. She's noticed that people come with their dogs, and because the dog park is there as well, she's just requesting a little bit more space than the 10 by 10 vendor space, so that she can bring this equipment. And she did include a picture here of what some of the equipment would look like, and it would give individuals with their dogs there the opportunity to try out the equipment, and she will have waiver forms for those individuals that are there with dogs using these equipment. So she's just basically asking two things of the committee. One is that the vendor fee be waived as she's being charged the special event fee, but that has already been decided by the committee. And then she's also asking if she can have a little bit more space than the 10 by 10 booth, as this would take up more space without having to pay an extra vendor fee and for an additional space. And you know, with the lack of vendors at this point, that's a decision that the committee could make. But that is her request.
Thank you, Alice. Yes, Kyle, you wanna?
I mean, we're struggling for events. We're struggling for things to happen throughout the day. Personally, I'd say give her the space. I mean, this is something that I haven't seen before right at Canada Day. This sounds quite intriguing. I'd be more than happy to see this personally.
Now, Len?
She was a sponsor at a Canicross event a little while ago at Menorah Park and was well received there for their race. We're giving Keller Williams extra space for an in-kind exchange. I don't see a problem in providing extra space for this event. I agree kind of in terms of the, I think there'll be a draw. This is a pet friendly event. Yes, no, yes, we're making this a pet friendly event. I'm asking, that's a question. Maybe that's an Alice or a unique question. Oh, we are. Okay, fine. So well, yeah, why not?
I agree with everyone. Let them have the space.
Jamie, you have a question, comment, anything you'd like to add?
Just maybe some comments in terms of dogs being there and being pet friendly. That's great, especially with the dog park installed last year. Just keeping in mind, dogs do need to be on a leash while outside of the dog park. So just something for Tanya and the committee to just be mindful of. And the only other comment, just as Alice was going over the letter and the car show being at the same time, last year we did have the two-step event. So that obviously produces some noise, which might spook dogs. So maybe just if that's an event that's continuing this year, just having that communicated well with Tanya of when it's starting and those types of pieces. So maybe she could hold off on having dogs go through the course or whatever kind of precautions that might be mindful of that activity being held as well.
Thank you.
And
Amy?
my understanding is that dogs are leashed during this activity. They're not ever off leash during this activity.
Amy, your hand was up
Go ahead,
earlier.
Jamie.
Yeah, I think that covered my question. I was wondering if they had to be leashed in the activity itself. Yeah, my other question was like, so for Rib Fest, we don't allow pets. We don't allow dogs at all. But so if this is a pet friendly, then I'm all for this.
Len?
And just maybe that could be expressed in the flyer. Pet friendly, dogs must be on leashes all times. So just, yeah.
We'll leave that up to the advertising committee.
Dogs and cats. If you're going to bring your cat, put her on a leash.
And snakes.
Snake, yeah.
And if there's snakes there, I'm not there. So
I had one at my backyard a couple of weeks back, I guess.
I'm not coming over.
No, I was panicking anyway. But anyway,
Okay.
okay.
Did I mention I have a pet alligator?
So going back to Alice's request or Tanya's request on extending space, how do we feel? I know most of us are in agreement of that. So yes, definitely. Is there any set space that you want to communicate with to Tanya, or did she request any specific space, Alex?
She didn't specify a specific size in the letter. When I spoke with her, she indicated that, another 10 by 10 space would probably be sufficient. But she also understood that we couldn't guarantee a specific size right now without knowing what other vendors were going to be there. So I think if the committee just authorized a motion for additional space without specifying at this time actual dimensions per se, and then in setting up the vendors, you can work with her on that.
Perfect. Thank you, Alice. I saw Kyle and then Lynn.
Can we approach her and ask her if she can create this thing as sort of an event or some kind of an attraction? Can she have a dog who's used to this kind of thing to go through it and sort of showcase?
I can definitely ask her, or if someone from the committee would like to communicate with her, that would absolutely be an option as well.
Thank you, Kyle. That's definitely a wonderful thought. Len?
Just in terms of size, just in terms of size, I'm just wondering if we let her set up and see what's comfortable for, her, the dogs, the whole thing, and kind of, I don't want to say give her 20 acres, or the whole park, but seeing as how we're giving other vendors a wide berth as far as size of booth, I say we let her, or I'm going to suggest we let her set her facility up in such a way that it's safe for the dogs and safe for the public, and because we don't want to restrict her to a specific size and then find it being too cramped for the dogs to not interact safely. I think safety is an important part of this.
And that's hence Alice's earlier comment made much more sense, I guess, to just leave that open. We don't just mention any square footage, anything like that. So, Jimmy, you have any question? Anything you want to add?
Similar to meeting Ken on site, myself and Brad can meet Tanya if that's needed. And again, depending on how many other vendors we get, we can kind of gauge and kind of give some options. That could be a possibility, Alice, if we want to connect on that, or if there's another committee member who's going to reach out to her, just keep me in the loop there.
Thank you. So how do you feel about, like, Alice, definitely we need a motion to approve this request.
Yes, I just need a motion to approve Happy Paws have additional space to run a dog agility setup, and just keep it simple and don't specify any specifics, and then we can work out the specifics with her.
Perfect. Now, once the motion is carried, you will be reaching out back to her and letting her know about that, am I correct? Would you mind then reaching out to her regarding Hal's request as well?
As far as bringing a dog. Yep, I could do that as well.
Okay, perfect. So are we comfortable all for an extra space for Happy Paws? Perfect. So motion would read as a request from Happy Paw. This candidate committee is approving an extra space to Happy Paw for agility. Can I have someone to make a motion on that? That's Kyle, seconded by Len. All in favor? All. Fantastic. Motion carried. Thank you all. This brings us to the time that we. Oh, Alice, go ahead.
And Jamie has her hand up too. I have one other suggestion for new business, and that the committee consider. Next week is the regular scheduled meeting, but I would also suggest to the committee that they might want to consider and making a motion tonight to have an additional meeting 2 weeks from now, which would be Thursday, June the 29th. That gives you 2 more meetings instead of 1 before your event. So that would just be a suggestion that I would suggest the committee make, if they're in favor, make that motion tonight. So those that aren't here can prepare and plan for it in advance.
Perfect. Thank you, Jamie. I'm sorry, Alice. Jamie, you had your hand up, and we'll take that motion shortly, or we take that discussion shortly. Jamie, over to you.
Yep, I just had kind of two more comments and FYIs. Again, just kind of have the committee to start thinking about or planning and communicating who will be on site and who will kind of be lead, second hand, and then, you know, where everyone else will be and how many of you will be attending. I will not be at next week's meeting. I am off. So if there is a extra meeting on the 29th, I will see you then.
Thank you. So two new business in this matter. Thanks, Jamie, as well for that extra tap on our side here. So first motion, or first area of discussion is around about what Alice's request to have an additional meeting. Next week is our regular schedule, and the 29 is an additional meeting that is requested. So how do you folks feel about that? Should we move back to back next 2 Thursdays? Yeah, all good. I didn't hear anything from Ryan or Len. Thumbs up on that. Perfect. So motion would read to have an additional scheduled meeting
On June 29th.
June 29th
At 7:30 p.m.
At 7:30 p.m. Can I have someone make that motion? Brian, seconded by myself. All in favor? Aye. Perfect. Thank you. And then maybe to the earlier discussion, as well as Jamie's just reminding about activity lead, I guess, on the day off. And Kyle had actually mentioned that we can have a separate, you know, in the same document, we can have that lead spreadsheet as well. So I think we can start working on together and making sure that you basically provide your availability if so for the event day, and then I think we can list those areas as well that will be what area we needed to work on, and then who's going to be the leader on that as well. So we can, yes, Kyle, it's all your shoulder, I guess.
The one thing we haven't talked about, we always need volunteers. Volunteers are a big factor in this, because this committee cannot run this day by ourselves.
That's right. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
we
I
did talk about it, and we'll provide some information on that.
I did extend an invite to the high school for both the golf tournament, Pass of the While, and for the Canada Day committee. And so they have the information. I have not heard anything back yet.
Okay, just so everybody knows, am I on? Yeah, okay, just I can never tell if I'm on or I'm not. So everybody knows, whatever time you guys want to start, I'm there from as early as you want me to be there. Unfortunately, I have to leave by about 6:30, give or take. Like I'll stay until the end of the opening ceremonies, but unfortunately after that, I've probably got to leave because I've got to head over to my brother-in-law's.
So Samir, I'll add that to the next agenda, just to have further conversation with everyone, and I'll include the volunteer aspect on there as well.
Perfect. Yeah, if you can just also line up on, maybe we can take it offline, Alice, on that. Maybe Kyle can help us in as well, informing the areas that we want to focus, and then who's going to be the lead in that area. So definitely we can take that offline. Fantastic. So with that said, it is a time to see, sad to say, and these happy faces go away. But I thank you very, very much for all your participation today, and looking forward to see you back again next week. It's going to be Thursday, once again, 22nd at 7:30. So I'd like someone to make a motion, be resolved that Canada Day Committee now adjourn to reconvene the call of the chair. Have someone make a motion for that, and that is Kyle, seconded by. No one wants to go home. I want to go, please. Thank you. Have a long day today. It's been up since, okay, so motion carried, all in favor. Fantastic, all set. I thank you once again, all of you. Good night and we'll see you.